Howdy once again, it's tubalcain, Mr. Pete 222, your YouTube shop teacher, this time with episode 47B of my What Is It Mystery Tools series. Be sure and go back and watch part 1, that'd be 47A if you haven't already seen it. So let's get started and see if we can figure out what these items are. Well, again I was shocked, and I know some of you are thinking this guy's really easily shocked, isn't he? But boy, most people, or many people, knew exactly what this is. Now that's the reason I covered up the word Singer, and they probably didn't make this, although they certainly had the capability, but it's got a Bernard type action, and it's made to splice sewing machine belts. That is Singer treadle type sewing machines, but of course many other pieces of equipment used a round leather belt, and it would work for any of them. Somebody said that there's something missing here, and I'm not sure just what all the different steps are in working with one of those belts. But you saw that there's some other numbers on there. From the looks of the handle, I'm thinking that it was a subcontract, probably with Bernard or the name of that other company, which eludes me. There's some other names and numbers. That, of course, is the punch. And apparently many other companies made similar ones, probably with different patents. So there's probably all kinds of different patents for this tool. Now there's a Bernard patent for a belt pliers. It goes clear back to 1892. Before Henry Ford and before the Wright brothers did anything important besides make bicycles. This is a much newer patent from 1931 for similar pliers. You know what, I've had this Wimhurst machine that I bought from a school out in western Illinois for probably 25 years already. By the way, I can't get it to work lately. It used to work fine, all of a sudden I cannot get it to work. But when I got it from the school, the belt was broken, it was just laying there. And so I went down to Mr. Sweeper, that's our local sewing machine vacuum cleaner combination store, and they sold this by the foot. And they just gave me, or sold me, a little clip. I didn't need any special tool. It almost looks like, if I can get in there, I take it back, that looks like a piece of baling wire. But this belt, since it's leather, I notice is cracked and needs replacement. So I might have to go back to Mr. Sweeper. Anyway, thank you for all the comments. Thanks, Gary, for loaning this to me. Several people knew exactly what this was, or is for that matter, and it's a saw set. But it's nothing like the saw sets that I've seen here in America. This is made, it simply says import, but several people from Europe told me that they're very popular over there. I'm not sure just exactly how it sets up on the saw, but you can consistently set the angle. I'm thinking for as long as this is, maybe it's for great big saws like you'd use to two-man saws to saw down trees and things like that. But I guess I don't really know. Kind of a neat tool. Thanks to Rex. Most people knew what this was. These are muffler tools used to chisel off a muffler. You're trying to save half of it. You know how it was when that clamp went around there and it was all rusty? You take the clamp off, you still couldn't separate the two tubes, so you would drive this, attempt to drive it between the two tubes and split it. They also sold this type of chisel that would fit in a pneumatic chiseling type hammer. Made it much easier because if you were laying on the gravel with the car and it's not jacked up very high, you had a heck of a time swinging the hammer. And this one, of course, does exactly the same thing. This is KD, by the way. A lot of people knew just by the color that it was a KD. Somebody even said, that's a KD number 2074. And they were quite right. And again, back to this one. You can see that end can be used like that. And similarly, depending on what you're doing here. Of course, now mechanics go right in there with the torch and cut it all off and replace it all. Though we're not so much into just replacing the Sears muffler, which was guaranteed for life but lasted 9 months. Then you had to try to get it off and salvage the other pipes, which was impossible because they were all beat up and leaked like crazy when you were done. So you would use muffler bandage or some other phony preparation to try to stop. Oh, I gotta stop. Never mind. On to the next item. Jerry Wilson loaned this to me, and I got to get it back to him. Remember, I had all this taped off, masked off, so you couldn't read it. But there's just all kinds of markings here. Trademark, Triumph, Lawrence Stationery Company. Even tells you what kind of eyelets to use. Bernard, 1901. What does it say on this side? And there's the company that made it in New Haven. Now, a lot of people had that answer, and they said it was for putting eyelets in shoes. Some said even in paper or cardboard. Sometimes they used to do that. Well, Jerry gave me a handful of these. I thought originally he had told me was to put those snaps in like you use in a canteen. The World War II canteens, you know, would snap into their holder. I used to have one. But those are they're not really grommets, I guess they're eyelets, but that's what they're used for. So you could punch the leather or paper or cloth or whatever it was, like that. And then with the eyelet in the hole, like that. There you go. Pretty slick. Now let's try it in a little bit thicker piece. It really works nice. First time I've ever used one. Well, now to the hard one. And we had all kinds of answers here. I think most of them are incorrect. Possibly the person that said it was used to put in seals. I do not believe it's a press to do anything very heavy duty because this is aluminum. Some people thought it was for putting ferrules on hoses. And I should have unveil this because this might be the answer, but I don't really know that for sure. Dun, 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 dun. Torrington Manufacturing Company. So if someone can identify it positively from this, I will include it in a future video. But when I see the word Torrington, I'm thinking bearings. Now I might be wrong, but I thought that this would be something to do with installing bearings or seals or something related to that product, but possibly there are many other companies by the name of Torrington besides that bearing company, which I don't think is around anymore, but I know they used to make a lot of needle bearings and things like that, but we're unsure. Some people are very positive in the answers they give me and very confident, but look through the comments in the other video. But also there are some people that do not watch part A, they only watch this part, so I'm quite confident we'll find somebody that knows what this is, but I don't think anybody mentioned these little rollers here. and what their job is in regards to installing whatever it is you install. And these two knobs here bring those rollers in, and whatever it does, it obviously has many sizes. Let's look at the smaller one again. That's what, 5/16, so we'd have to find the 5/16 size, which is that one. So what does it do? I don't even know which side it comes in from. So you can add that to the comments, and please read through the comments. I know I just said that. See if we can get a final answer on this. Maybe the answer was already correct by someone. I'm just not sure. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of people that had the same answer, other than flaring. A lot of people thought it was for flaring. Well, I have flaring tools, and flaring tools are always iron or steel, and quite heavy, because it takes a lot of pressure to flare even a copper tubing. So I don't believe this is a flaring tool of any kind. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you found this interesting. Continue watching, because I got a lot of other neat things coming up in further videos. So this is tubalcain, your YouTube shop teacher, saying so long for now.